Peace, love, light, all things good to those of you tuning in to the Unapologetic Nomads. I am Queen Nomad, and shout out to King Nomad and Princess Nomad, Miss Ayla, out there. And I have a special guest in the building today, and we are on the lovely island of Zanzibar in Tanzania. And this lovely couple, I have some great things to share with you about them, and let's get this show started. All right, today we have the lovely couple, the Reids, here visiting with us here in Zanzibar, Tanzania. How are you today?
Man, amazing. I am home.
That's what it feels like. And how long have you been here? How many days have you been here so far?
This is day 5, so it's kind of a short visit, but it's just an introduction to us just coming back again and again. But this was an amazing trip.
Yeah, first time in Africa, definitely not the last time.
Awesome. So this is your very first trip to Africa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. And how are things so far? How are you doing?
I think it's like we got off the plane, we left the airport. It almost felt like we were supposed to be here. My name is Martin Reid, originally from Virginia. By way, raised our kids in North Carolina, went to school in Norfolk State. From Norfolk State, went to New York, stayed in New York for a few years, got married, had kids in New York, then decided to move to North Carolina, which is where we raised our kids. I started my career in fashion back in probably 1997. Well, my degree is in fashion, so I moved to New York to work in the fashion industry. We started a company of our own, a clothing company there. We did that for a little while and then decided to move to North Carolina with our kids and raise our kids there. Right now, our kids are grown. We have 2 adults. I know, it's crazy, but yeah, we have 2 adults, 22 and 25, and I'm now teaching in Dubai. Decided to try my hand at teaching abroad, so this is my 3rd year teaching in Dubai. I teach business in Dubai.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, so my name is Martin. So I'm of Jamaican heritage, born in London, raised in New York, educated in the South, and raised a family in the South also. So like you said, we started our family in New York. I claim New York as my home, and moved to North Carolina to raise our family. I went to school for business, so when we started our clothing line together, her being a designer and me being a business mark just made sense. And yeah, it was pretty successful, and but the reality of life took a toll on us. We realized that as solo entrepreneurs at the time, health insurance was a lot more important right now than selling to department stores as we were pregnant with our first kid. So we kind of gave up on our dream initially just a little bit in order to be comfortable, I guess, in complacency.
Yeah, had to get a 9 to 5.
Yeah, but we're creatives at heart. Right now, currently, I actually work with virtual reality, so I help companies transition from physical spaces to virtual spaces, and it's been amazing because it's the first time in probably 2 decades that I was able to really tap into my creativity on a full scale. I have a background in photography, music, fashion, and graphic art. So I'm a creative at soul. Yeah, I'm a creative at soul.
True creative.
And now I've been able to kind of piece it all together with a little bit of entrepreneurship experience and help some people out.
All right, awesome. And tell me about your business and what inspired you to have a business in the metaverse.
Yeah.
What's the name of the business?
Yeah, so the name of the business is MetaClean Presents, METACLEAN Presents.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So oddly enough, it started with a fluke. I bought the Oculus headset during the Christmas season, thinking that it was going to be the hottest toy of the season. I thought I'd be able to resell it and make a couple of $100. And 2 weeks before Christmas, the Oculus, Costco got a shipment of 250 of the Oculuses. So I realized that I wasn't going to sell it for a profit, and so I opened the box, and when I put it on, it was just amazing what was going on in there. It was very new. There really wasn't a whole lot established on the platform, which is owned by Facebook, now Meta. I realized that it became a place of socialization. So it was really during the time of COVID. So we were shut in the house anyway. We couldn't go anywhere. And the headset kind of brought us together and socialized. And I realized that no matter where we were, could connect with other people who looked like us, who didn't look like us, who came from very different backgrounds, and we could all do it from the comfort of our living room. Most of the time that I was engaging, I was in my pajamas because, like again, it was COVID, so we were shut down. But when you're in there virtually, your avatar is your representation of whoever you want to be. So yeah, it's been pretty amazing.
Nice. And what does your business do in the metaverse?
Yeah, so what MetaKeen Presents does, I do a few things. So I do public speaking, I do motivational speaking, but the core of my business is really to empower creators to help achieve their goals. We've transitioned the business a little bit now, so now I'm working with brands and entertainers. So if they have a physical presence, it is my job now to convert that physical presence into a digital one, and using the metaverse and virtual reality as the vehicle. Immersive technology is such that we can recreate a space as realistic as possible or as fantastical as possible, where creators can entertain, showcase their products, socialize. Really, there's any industry that I can think of, there's a use case for it in virtual reality. And with the globalization effect now that's happening with technology, the ability to be able to control the narrative and tell the story that you want to tell to the customers that you want to tell it to is powerful. I don't necessarily have to worry about what Instagram or Facebook wants me to create, because we create these immersive experiences from the ground up, and we can create anything and allow people to tell their story any way they want to.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you attract and retain customers in the metaverse?
Yeah, so what it is, think of the metaverse as a social media platform. So the same way that we'll attract customers on Facebook and Instagram is the same thing we do in the metaverse. For the most part, it always starts from creating something that maybe is familiar to you and then expanding and seeing what the possibilities are. I know for me personally, my journey has really all been about creators. So I want to make sure that as a creative who monetize my creativity at a very young age, I notice that there is so much talent on this platform and they don't necessarily have the business acumen to figure out how to make money with it. So I started off mentoring people, just reaching out to creators, giving them advice, offering some more detailed mentorship. I moved through the space as a Metaverse Strategist. So if someone has an idea but doesn't really know quite how to execute on that idea, they'll usually come to me and I'll help them plan it from the beginning to the end, based on where they are and their skill set, not on anybody else's standards. And I think that's really the key. The key, I think, for creators is to be uncomfortable with your comfortableness or be comfortable with their uncomfortableness. I think the problem that creators make sometimes is that they create so much for other people and not for themselves. And I don't think that's the way to go about building a brand, because if you don't want to spend 1,000 hours working on it, and if it's something that you don't like and you're only creating for other people, you're going to hate doing it every day, and the product's just going to show up differently. So I really just try to help creators navigate the space in how to do that effectively in order for them to be able to tell their story and use their creativity and immersive technology as a vehicle. Yeah, it's been pretty amazing.
Okay, so you see yourself as a consultant also, helping
Absolutely.
people to,
Absolutely,
okay.
yeah.
We're going to get your contact information at the end of this so
Sure.
that we can plug that for you
Absolutely.
as well. What role do NFTs and cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, all of that play in your business?
Yeah, so listen, the Web3 revolution is in full effect, right? I think the problem is now is that we've been through maybe 5 disruptive technologies where any one of those things makes a complete difference to the technology, right? So we started off with obviously blockchain and cryptocurrency, which was all the rage, and then it switched to NFTs, and then it switched to the metaverse, and then it switched to AI, and this happened in the span of 5 years. But any one of those technologies could be disruptive to the industry. I think it's really important now that whatever technology you use, how you're deploying it, you find a way to connect it all. So for us in the metaverse, we know that we can utilize AI to help with some of the building process, or even just the education and learning how to build, and incorporate some of that back into the platform. But we want to talk about payment systems now, right? So if you connect your digital world to a payment system through a MetaMask account, and for my crypto people, you know what I'm talking about, then you have a direct access to a wallet where you can accept payments. There's actually a platform that does that pretty frequently. Spatial is a platform that is connected directly to your MetaMask account, So you can buy artwork, experiences, music directly from an artist using cryptocurrency as that vehicle. Now, as far as NFTs, I know NFTs were arranged a couple of years ago, then it died out. But NFTs now are making a comeback because there's now more utility to them. The problem that existed the first time around is that most of the NFTs, I hate to say it, were junk. They were just art, and it was really about who owned it that made it popular. But now NFTs add in utility. Now, if you bought an NFT for any one of our artists in the space, potentially you could unlock access that other people won't get, VIP experiences, special content, and really that's how the NFT plays a part in not only the metaverse but in their resurgence. And it's gonna be making a comeback probably within the next year or so, but it'll look very different than the way that it looked 2 years ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Web3 technology. So Web3 technology basically is replaced Web 2 technology. And to explain it really quickly, so think of Web 1 as the ability to communicate through text message. Think of Web 2 as the ability to communicate with video. And Web 3 now is the ability to communicate in a digital environment of immersion, which is virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and extended reality. And that's where we are right now with the technology.
Wow, interesting. What are some unique opportunities and challenges you faced operating in a virtual world versus a traditional, the way we have businesses, traditional brick and mortar?
So I would say the biggest opportunity for us right now is the buy-in from people. Right? For those of us that work within the space, we understand it. It's the people that don't understand what virtual reality is that only look at it from a gaming standpoint. So currently right now, I'm working pretty exclusively within the music industry. We brought Little C's, MC Shan, Naughty by Nature, a few other artists are into the space that have had digital concerts and environments created. Some of those created by us, some of those we've assisted in helping the creativity get to a point. But the business aspect, right? If you create a digital showroom, one, you're not paying a brick and mortar price, right? So brick and mortar right now is extremely expensive, but it is also a dying industry. Not many people now are spending the hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars it takes to build a digital space. But digitally, I can recreate any space, make it look exactly like the space you want it to look like, and now my customer base is global, and again, they never have to leave their living room to do it. So I operate in Dubai, but my business partners right now are in North Carolina, Atlanta, and Colorado, and we meet at least once or twice a week to discuss what our next plan is for our organization called The Block. And The Block is an organization we started in the Metaverse, which really helps artists who perform music get their message and their music to a digital audience as we create immersive experiences, stages, paid concerts, private VIP tours with some of the celebrity artists in their neighborhoods. Yeah, and we never have to leave the living room to do it.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Imagine doing a concert in the living room in your pajamas.
Yes.
Doing your concert.
And so you're
that's crazy.
Have you been kind of dabbling in it a little bit, Ms.
Listening. I listen and then I watch the videos. So I hear what he's doing in this space. I'm not there yet, but I listen
Pretty
and go, wow. He'll show me a video and I'll be like, oh my God. It's pretty amazing what can be done in the VR space.
I just can't believe all this is taking place like right now.
Yeah, it is right now. And listen, and that's the thing that I want to tell people, right? Like, just because you don't understand the technology, it doesn't mean the technology exists. I go to quite a few developer conferences, and I can tell you there have been billions of dollars poured into this industry, from the military, does simulation training in virtual reality because now they can recreate the spaces and don't have to put an 18-year-old in a $100 million piece of equipment for the first time. When by the time they touch that equipment, they've already simulated where all the buttons are, where all the mechanics are, the operations of the vehicle, and now all they have to do when they physically touch it is fly it. The medical field uses it now for surgery, so we can do surgeries remotely, because if a surgeon is working with a headset, it can be attached to remote instruments to do surgeries across platforms, right? So of course architecture's been in this industry for a while, because creating a digital twin of a building now lets somebody who's selling a home, let's say Dubai for instance. So if you have a multi-million-dollar property in Dubai, but your client is anywhere else in the world, that digital twin that's been created now gives that person access to see what this property looks like without ever having to step foot on an airplane. Education is a big deal now. Morehouse University was the first HBCU to adopt the technology. The program was started by Dr. Morris, who is an amazing teacher, but a technologist who understood what was happening in the space. But I think the University of Miami and quite a few organizations now hold classes only in the metaverse.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. So even education.
Education is huge. Yeah.
Now, when you said medicine, that threw me all the way forward.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, how is that?
Yeah, but look at it like this. Think of now, because we have the ability to recreate anything. So instead of opening a textbook and, we want to talk about the heart and, you see the arteries and the ventricles and all the different chambers, like we can digitally create a heart that you can walk inside of and see where the veins actually run, see where the bloodlines go, see where the nerve endings go. And doing a digital twin of a human body is a very different experience of reading about it in a textbook when you can minimize yourself. I think, what's that Disney movie called? The Invisible Voyage or something like that, where they shrunk down and went through the bloodstream. That's the experience that we create in virtual reality, and we're just in our headset doing it. So there isn't an industry on the planet that won't be affected or can't be utilized by using this technology. And that's really, I've become an ambassador with working with Meta, being an affiliate with Meta and a monetized creator with Meta. And I want to be an ambassador to tell people that it doesn't really matter what you feel about the technology. As a business owner, you need to be where your customers are gravitating to. And right now, they're gravitating away from a web experience, right? The same way that the computer and the cell phone replace the yellow pages is the same way that this immersive technology will replace Web 2 technology as we know it right now. And if you don't believe me, I'm gonna ask you, when's the last time you picked up a yellow pages to find an experience or a restaurant?
Oh, no, I forgot about the yellow pages.
We use those for different things now.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
using yellow pages to look for things because all we do is say, "Hey Siri, where is this? Hey Siri, what's the address to this?"
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: how do you see the future of business in the metaverse? Let's say in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. We were forced to work from home through no cause of our own, right? In 2019, when COVID happened, it disrupted everything. We were forced to use electronic payments. We were forced to work remotely. We were forced to stay at home and not go outside. And whatever the conspiracy theorists think this happened or what happened, it is what it is, right? So I think it's really only a matter of time before there's an event big enough that's going to force us into those same situations, whether it be a global event like a war, whether it be an economic event, or whether it be another pandemic, right? But we now know how to do it, right? So businesses setting up in this space, one, never have to leave their home base of operations. Two, it's going to be so much cheaper to conduct business virtually than it ever would be than putting the salesperson on an airplane and flying to China to buy a product. Because if I wanted to recreate somebody's inventory, I'm just going to do it virtually now. I can house their product, I can inventory it, I can give them product number, I can give them the ability to make a payment system, and I can have a salesperson be there in the virtual space to receive people once they come in. But however you want to do it, right? I think the story again is about the ability to tell our story and create these spaces in the way we need them to and nobody else's. Because even if you franchise, right? If you own a 7-Eleven or a McDonald's, there are guidelines that you have to have this in place, you have to do this in place. But if I created your space in virtual reality, I can say, well, I don't want real floors, I want my customers to fly to reach the cash register, or any one of these things, right? But however fantastical or realistic you can make it is what we can create. And so my team and I, we help create those immersive experiences for people in whatever industry they feel like entering in.
Awesome. Now, for someone looking to start a business in the metaverse, what key advice would you give them?
All right, so first thing I would say is establish your business off the platform first, and only because we still have ownership rights that we have to deal with. So whatever metaverse you build in, if you read the small print, that owner of the metaverse can still potentially engage with your product and your content without you knowing, right? So be smart, build your business off the platform first. Make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's, because it's a real business you're building, right? The second thing is that just because you build it in the metaverse, it doesn't mean they're going to come. So you have to market and promote and follow all the branding and marketing skills that makes your business successful, right? And if anybody has been an entrepreneur, you know that just because you created it, it doesn't mean people are going to show up and buy from you. In fact, the people that you expect to do that first are probably going to be the ones that don't show up at all, as you're going to really receive most of your business from strangers and people that don't know you. So, create an engaging message, right? None of the business practices are abandoned from building in the metaverse. This is just another tool and an expansion of your current brand and your business. The way you would do it in the physical world is just an expansion that we do in the metaverse. It's not a replacement for anything. It's just giving you another opportunity and another outlet for your business to grow and succeed. But again, you don't have to understand it. But if your customers understand it and you're not there, that will prevent you, or that may turn you into a Blockbuster who, listen, I went to Blockbuster every Friday night. Right?
Yes,
we
remember that.
We got
Back in the
charged
day,
for things
yes.
for not rewinding the tapes. We never thought they'd go out of business, but they were presented with an opportunity from Redbox and they didn't take it, and now Blockbuster doesn't exist. But even Redbox now didn't adapt fast enough, right? Because Netflix was on the same model as Redbox.
Right.
Now, but once we've gone away from DVDs, now Netflix owns media, right? And how does Netflix transmit to you? Digitally. You don't get a DVD player in the mail. You don't rewind a tape. You don't have a VHS player. It is all coming to you digitally. And this experience right now, virtual reality, is no different at all.
Wow, this is very, very interesting. And there's something else exciting that happened with you recently. I think you had a chance to go and network with Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah, I did.
Wow, how was that?
Yeah, it was amazing,
And
man.
shout out to those guys. They're doing their thing.
Yeah, I got to meet
Major.
Troy, Richard, and Ian, which was amazing. I've been following those guys since COVID. I remember I would be at the YMCA listening to the podcast, and it started off really small, and I was engaged with the content, and just where they've taken it. And I think they just celebrated their 6th anniversary, has been unbelievable. They're getting ready to host the Invest Fest in Atlanta, which is now the biggest business event in the world.
Wow.
Primarily made up of people that look like us, right? Which is important. So I had the opportunity to fly to Atlanta. I was part of the mastermind, got to sit down with them, got some personal training from them and their team, which has been super, super impactful. Not just metaverse stuff, right? Just business and things that just make you stronger as an entrepreneur. And the journey's been amazing. I get to go back into Atlanta for the Invest Fest as a VIP. So I'm super excited there. And
I'm hiding his suitcase.
I'm considering setting up a vendor booth, kind of highlighting what the metaverse does there. So yeah, it's exciting stuff. Really exciting stuff.
Awesome, and congratulations to you. And I know you're just gonna grab.
Yeah,
just
big
take
shout
off
out to
from
the Earn Your
there.
Leisure team, man.
Awesome.
Listen, if you don't know what Earn Your Leisure is, you really have to tap in because they've educated people in managing their finances, understanding the stock market and business, and now they have a really in-depth AI course in the EYO University. And listen, if you're not involved in AI right now, you're already behind the ball, but it's not too late. But you have to start learning and utilizing it into your day-to-day, just a little bit. It's not a replacement, right? It's just an expansion.
Definitely. Shout out to those guys. Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah.
They're major. They're doing big things.
Yeah.
Big things here. Financial world, YouTube, everywhere.
Yeah, killing it.
Yes. So those who want to get started or join the metaverse, set up a business in the metaverse, how would they do that? We need your contact information.
Yeah, so
they can reach out to you.
Reach out to me. So my name, my business name is MetaClean Presents. That's METACLEAN Presents.com. So start there. If you type in MetaClean Presents or MetaClean Rupert, RUPERT in Google, I will pop up. I'm Googled now, which is amazing to see myself on Google. But you may see a few things from me, right? I do a series in the metaverse called Meta Talks Live, which really just puts a creative on stage and we talk about the journey of how they got into the metaverse. But I'm pretty active on Instagram. I do a lot of content on Instagram. I drop some inspirational stuff, so sometimes that helps. You'll see some of the crazy experiences and worlds that I've built. But yeah, MetaClean, and you'll see my avatar with my dreadlocks.
All
on there
right.
in the metaverse.
Did you have locks before?
You know, the reason my avatar looks the way it is because when I first got into the metaverse, it took me back to my 25-year-old self where I was the most creative. At the time, I was shooting for Vibe magazine and some of the local magazines around the company. We had our clothing line going, and I was doing graphic arts. We got an artist signed with Dr. Dre at the time. So we were in California for a little while recording that album, which was pretty dope. I got to meet some really dope people. But I had my dreadlocks, and that was my most creative time. So being around all these creators, I represented my 25-year-old self, and now from a branding standpoint, I'm not going to change it because people recognize me with that now. So I'm just going to stick with it. Yeah.
All right.
But it takes me back to a happy space of creativity.
Awesome. About how many businesses or people are in the metaverse right now doing business?
Yeah, so right now we'll never know.
Wow.
There are so many businesses on there. So, well, here's the thing. Think of the metaverse as just another word for the internet.
Okay.
But think about all these individual platforms within the metaverse as different websites, right? So the same way the internet has AOL, Google, Bing, Yahoo, is the same way the metaverse operates. So the big ones right now are Horizon Worlds, which is owned by Meta. You have VR Chat, you have Spatial, and then Engage. Those are really the four big ones, but you have some emerging metaverses coming up now, like the Multiverse, Banter, and a few others. So each one of these metaverses operates differently. So depending on what type of business you want to start will really depend which metaverse you want to enter. So we've helped people set up in all those different metaverses. So if you want to do something more social where the entry cost is a lot cheaper, then I'll say come to Horizon Worlds. That's where my business, the core of my business is set up. But you don't necessarily need a ton of skill to create on there because the tools are provided for you in the headset. But if you go to VR Chat or Engage or Spatial, you do have to have a skill set because you do have to build in either Unity or Blender to be able to import and create those worlds. And that is a level of entry that not everybody has. It's going to take some learning and a skill set to get in there. And then other platforms like Engage, you can interact with them for free, but if you want to have a presence there as a business, it's maybe a $7,000 buy-in to create the enterprise business. But you can monetize from any one of these platforms. Again, I'm a monetized creator and an affiliate partner with Meta. So depending on the traffic I bring to my worlds, could generate an income for me. I don't really focus too much on that part of the business because I really want to act more as a consultant and really help people understand what the metaverse is so they can propel their business. And I prefer the consultancy side more so than driving traffic necessarily to my world. But I create immersive experiences with the team. I'm part of an organization called The Block. And The Block is basically a group of 5 individuals with a different skill set. I'm a strategist. One is a creator. Another one is a former artist. We have an accountant as part of the team and a tech expert as part of the team. So the 5 of us together really create concerts where we monetize and help other creators monetize their creativity in virtual reality. So we put on concerts now with MC Shan, John Robinson, who else? Nora Kid for Life, a few named artists, Little C's, a few named artists, and we're gonna have a really busy this year with the engagement of some known celebrities. And you know, we focus on old school artists, right? Like I'm an old school hip hop head.
Yes.
So for me, it's important to bring them to the future or to the current and to generate an income with the creativity that we grew up with, right? No disrespect around anything that's going on in hip hop now, but a lot of the kids now don't know where the music came from. So now we're putting these people back on stage in the metaverse and virtual reality.
Yes, and that's one thing I do love about what's happening right now. In the space of music, how things are changing.
Yeah.
We're bringing back all the old artists,
Yeah.
the people we grew up on and love so much. So
Good
that's
music.
awesome to
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
that's happening in the metaverse as well.
Yeah, and again,
That's
it's about control, right? Because
Yeah.
we lost control of our music, right? Hip hop started off as a fad. They said it would never survive X amount of time, but once it became popular, it was really stolen from us. And now it's a $1 billion industry that the majority of artists don't even get to participate in, right? So because of technology now, we're able to take our content and stream it directly to our audience. We don't have to go through the record company anymore. If you have original music, you can now create that experience, sell directly to your customer, and bring them into the metaverse and have a concept for them to engage with you.
That's perfect. I was about to ask you that question. How much control does an artist have in the metaverse with their
100%.
Woo, I love it.
Now keep in mind, right?
Wow.
These are still platforms owned by corporations, so there's still terms of services you got to get around. You know, some metaverses you're more free and open to do things. Like I've seen strip clubs in the metaverse, but you know, I operate in It's listen, it sounds comical, but when you hear how much money these ladies are making from doing that, it is crazy. Like they're no longer going to the club anymore. They're making money. People are actually paying them for their digital avatar to have a life. Now I don't visit those places. I promise I don't. But I operate in Horizon Balls, which is a social platform, right? It's owned by Facebook, which owns Instagram. So there's a lot of children there. It's a very gamified experience if you want it to be. But there are a lot of nightclubs there, a lot of talk shows, a lot of art galleries. A lot of places to engage and talk with people.
I think I did watch the fashion show one time.
Yeah,
It
was a fashion show in there. One of the artists named Jay Vanity put on a fashion week in the metaverse.
And you are a designer. You need to. We gotta chop it up, sis.
I've been trying.
We need to get that business in the metaverse. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
We're gonna have a conversation with this young lady at another time about that. We gotta dig into that. But definitely, wow, this was very, very enlightening. A lot of good information.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna start digging and see what's going on up in the metaverse.
Listen, I'll tell you, the cost of entry, right, is the price of a headset. The headsets now start up at $299, and you can use that headset to start a business. Like, as a monetized creator, there are some creators in there now who are making 4, 5, 6 figures a month from their creativity because they're driving traffic into their worlds. Usually it's for gaming because kids enjoy games and they'll come back over and over again. But you know, even some of the things I've done as a builder, I'm paid to do commission builds for people. So if somebody needs an experience, needs a digital twin, they can come to me and I'll charge them for it. And that's how I survive. I've been working there exclusively now full time for going on 2 years now, and that's how I'm making my living in virtual reality. So it's the consultation, it's the building, it's the engaging and driving people to your worlds, and any number of ways you can monetize is very cool. And again, my original headset was a $299 investment. That is it, one-time fee.
Wow.
Yeah, and Wi-Fi is free.
Wi-Fi is free.
Yeah.
Places,
especially when you borrow it from other people.
Awesome.
Yes.
So that's the equipment you need.
That's the equipment you need. Yeah, headset and Wi-Fi. That's it.
That's easy.
And you can do it from anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. All right. Martin and Robin, I want to thank you so much for your time. You're a beautiful couple, and you're doing great things, amazing things. This was very enlightening and inspirational. Yes. And so I hope a lot of you out there who are tuned in can pick up some gems, all these gems he just dropped here, and do something with that. Those of you who are interested in, who've always been interested in finding out more about what's going on in the metaverse. So I do want to thank you again for your time and for meeting up with us here at this beautiful island of Zanzibar. And had a wonderful time. We had a wonderful time.
Place to be inspired right here in this beautiful country.
And we're in a restaurant that is owned and run by a young lady from Philadelphia, PA. This is called The Box. And we're gonna stay tuned. We're gonna interview her and find out what's going on here in The Box. This is a beautiful space. But thank you again, and make sure you check out Martin's information in the description. If you want to get yourself on in the metaverse and get your business started or get started, however you will. And thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. We're the unapologetic nomads because we are unapologetically nomadic. See you next time. Peace and love.